And welcome back, everyone, to his Last Call. Last Call, the alcohol only on the lastcallpodcast.com. And joining me here on location, this man here, well, he had a nice little run to the 2026 NCAA Wrestling Championships. And even though it was hard, even though the seeding was tough, he is now a two-time All-American. We're happy to have him on the show and give you the pride and joy of West Virginia. I give you Ty Waters. So Ty, two-time All-American now. I mean, you joined the likes of Greg Jones, an elite company. So hasn't hit you yet, but hey, you came back after last year, and now you're now a two-time All-American. So you still have 2 more years left to win the national championship.
Most definitely.
So take me to the season. Last year you sat out due to an undisclosed injury, and no, but we can't talk about it too much. But this season, how tough was it coming back, not just physically but mentally after being out and then just going like, when am I gonna be ready? When am I gonna be ready? Am I gonna get hurt again? Like, how tough was this season for you to get used to just getting back after a long layoff?
I don't think it's too hard just because it wasn't too much recovery time. It was about, I think, 2 to 3 months of being off the mat a little bit, and I was still doing kind of any workouts I was able to. And Coach Lynn's always crafting up some sort of workout that I'll be able to do. So staying in with those, and then just still working out the rest of the summer. Um, Moving up a weight was kind of different because I thought we were going to go to an open at first. I was going to get acclimated to the weight a little bit, maybe wrestle some kids who I can beat up a little bit. But then, I'd be wrestling Daniel Cardenas, so I knew I couldn't pass that up. So I was real happy I was able to get invited to that. And I think after just wrestling in the practice room so much, you don't really have a measuring stick of where you're at because I'm working hard, but I don't know if I'm getting better in the right areas or not. So getting that win really helped me know that I was doing the right things and the work was paying off. So I was happy to have that match.
Take me to the Meyer Shapiro win because that's a big one. He was like, looking here, he was the number 3 seed. A lot of people had him as one of the dark horses to win the whole thing. You get him right in the quarterfinals, and that is one of those matches where it can go either way. So what went right? What went wrong? And when did you realize, like, I have him? I can beat this guy. I am going to beat this guy.
I don't know. He's a really hard matchup. Me and Meyer, we're pretty good friends. I really like him a lot. We talk a good bit. Um, I knew it was going to be a tough match. I didn't really know. That's one of those matches you can't really go in knowing what positions you're going to get in just because it's a clash of kind of two wild styles. So I knew it was going to be a tough match, and I was just going to have to wrestle through every position. And I think sometimes you can kind of feel guys wearing a little bit. And after I got that first takedown, I kind of stayed in my spots. And I think the first period, maybe first and a half, I was wrestling in his spots, and it was tiring me out a little bit. So once I started wrestling in my spots, where I was comfortable and where I was confident, I think that's where it started to turn more my way.
How tough is that? As you said, you're friendly with him, and you've wrestled him, you know him. How tough is that when he knows what you want to do, you know what he wants to do, and all of a sudden it becomes like, well, how do I get him to do what I want to do? Like, how tough is that when the guy knows is very familiar with you?
I don't know. I think that's the awesome part about wrestling is, I mean, I gotta literally put this dude down on the mat, and he's trying not to, and he's trying to put me down on the mat. I mean, I think that's just the amazingness of wrestling, and that's what it's all about, and that's why it's so fun. So, I mean, I think that makes me love it even more, and it's always going to be harder. The harder guys you got to go up against, but I think just wrestling different styles in the room, finding what works, finding what doesn't, and no matter who you wrestle, just trying to get to your spots.
You mentioned before that his spots, like that he is basically, you want to get at his spots, you want to get your spots. So with him, like, what made him tricky? Like, if for us, dum dums here, like, what makes him a difficult wrestler for you? Like, is it like his takedowns? Is it his back? Is it that he likes to scramble? He likes to do rolls. Like, what is it about him that you look and go? damn, this is a little bit frustrating.
And for Meyer, I
Yeah,
really like how Meyer wrestles, and I've watched a lot of film on him. I honestly just find his style like really fascinating and interesting. And I mean, there's not. It's really hard to prepare for someone like him just because no one wrestles like him. So I mean, like his setups, his shots, even the way he ties up is a little bit unorthodox to even normal unorthodox people. So I think getting on the mat and feeling him a little bit, feeling maybe like what his number one attack was, what his number two was, and maybe not letting him get to that tie up, or me tying up first and getting my control tie before he did so I can shoot off a shot, or maybe just shooting before he can so that I can get to my offense before he can. So I think kind of just getting to your spots that you're comfortable in as quick as you can, and then not hesitating and firing off.
first 2 days, I'm guessing it's a bit easy, in terms of like your body feels good, you're ready to go, and then that third day, it's like, oh, because you've been through the ringer, especially yourself. You, after the first 2 days, you wrestled 3 times. You won by pinfall over Ethan Miller, Virginia you won over Colton Washanewski of University of Virginia. Then you beat Jude Swisher. Then you beat Shapiro, and then you get Taylor next. Like, what was your body feeling after like 3 hard matches over a day and a half, and then Friday night you're like, God damn it, I can now feel this.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit hard, but I think throughout the season, just doing kind of 2-a-day practices, and I would assume any college program is making you do workouts that are just really hard and kind of beat your body up real bad. So I think just preseason workouts, in-season workouts, they all kind of prepare you for those type of days at nationals. And I mean, I'd rather be real beat up on the third day than feeling good and not even wrestling the third day.
Take me back to the Montreal Taylor match. When you look back at that, like, what went right, what went wrong? How much of that match do you look and go? You try to put it out of your mind, but you're probably sitting there like, if I just did this, if I just did that, I'd be in the finals, I'd be there.
I don't know. He's a tricky guy to wrestle. He's he's just real sturdy in all positions, and I mean he's a national champ. I think he's one of those guys that he has his style that he's going to wrestle, and he's kind of perfected it. And I think that's what a lot of national champs do. And I think whether you like it or not, he's a great wrestler, and I really like how he wrestles. But I don't know. I just gotta get to my spots. It was hard to get to my spots. A lot of times I score. It's off of kind of a lot of action going on, and it's hard to get action started with him. But yeah, that's just fully on me. I need to get to my shots, my scores, and my attacks, and just all around my positions. And he was real sturdy in there, so he was definitely really fun to wrestle. I was really grateful. I even got the opportunity to wrestle him, so that's super cool.
How much does it throw you off? Like, I've seen on several guys he's beaten, even when he's lost, like, they'll get a high single, and he can just stay there forever, hop around, get a whizzer. Next thing you know, it's like you've spent all that energy trying to take him down, and you're back in a standing position. You're going, God damn it! It's like trying to break, get basically a tooth out of an alligator. Like, how much does that wear you down when you have a guy like that who you just can't take down?
I think getting the leg up in the air and just trying to finish. I mean, if I'm getting to a leg, that's kind of all the confidence I need. It might take me a few, but usually I'm able to end up getting one. So especially in a match like the national semis, I feel like fatigue and kind of tiredness kind of get put to the side, and that's like it's more just you wrestling off your will to want to win.
You took sixth place. The last match is a medical forfeit, unfortunately. How are you feeling right now? And how much of this was just for you? Like, it's a long season. You came back from injury, and then that final day, it's like I'm just gonna, I'm already an All American. I want to, make sure I don't really get injured, and then focus on next season.
I mean, I feel really good about it. There's definitely things I for sure want to improve on, but I'm never not going to be grateful for the whole process and the ups, the downs, the everything. I'm a week out. I just got surgery on my knee, so I'm a week out from that. I'm feeling real good. I'm already kind of obviously not back to 100%, but I'm walking fine. I'm doing good. I've been lifting a good bit. So I mean, I love it. I think even like after I lost in the semis or lost in the blood or the Conti semis, I don't know what it was, but those like horrible feelings you feel after you wrestle, I feel like that's one of the best things for you, just like mentally and long term for the sport. Those are the feelings that are really going to make you make jumps in the sport. So I mean, it's amazing to feel those good feelings after you win, but I think when you're winning a lot, you're never as good as you think you are, and when you're losing a lot, you're never as bad as you think you are. So I think just having that happy medium and kind of just staying on the grind and trusting in God.
Did the fact you had surgery means this was like, oh yeah, well I just tweaked my knee. This is serious. So I'm guessing this wasn't just during the tournament. This was something that was bothering you most of a year. You sucked it up. You just went, all right, grind through it, grind through it. How do you do that? Because most people just if they stub their toe or they even sprained their ankle, they're on the couch for a week. And I'm guessing for you it was like, all right, my knees bother me. I don't care. I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna wrestle. Like, how do you block out that pain when it was probably? I'm guessing after the Saturday and Sunday was just like this felt like somebody stabbing you with a dull knife.
I mean, I think it's I was on last year. I was watching Big 12's nationals and a lot of the season on my couch. So I mean, it's definitely painful, but I mean, it's just pain, and I think you can always fight through that. And I think we all suffer for certain reasons, and I think anytime I suffer, I feel like it just means I need to be closer to God. So I always strengthen my relationship, and I just got to make that courageous step, and He'll always carry me through. So I'm not too worried when it comes to stuff like that.
You mentioned before you went up a weight class. So how did it feel this year not having the weight cut? Because before that you were, I've heard at times you were at 149, so probably cutting what 10, 15 pounds to get down to that weight, which and when I mean cut that weight, like weight you probably don't have. Now that you're at 157, how much easier was it this year? Just having some room to have something to eat more. You get to work out, put on more muscle weight. Like how much better did it feel being at 157?
Yeah, it definitely felt a lot better. The weight cut was definitely a lot more manageable. It was kind of just I would manage my weight a little bit, wouldn't go too crazy. I would change my diet up a little bit, and then I would just have to do one kind of hard last push or last run the day before or the day of, depending when the duel was. But it was definitely a lot easier, and I think I'll definitely gain a little bit this summer. So the cut coming up will be a little bit harder, but it won't be bad.
Once again, if you're just tuning in, we've got it is Ty Waters, University of West Virginia, two-time All-American. Now, you're a 10th two-time All-American. I have my co-host, All Jake, here, is going to be joining us in a second. So
Yes.
here's the first question before I let Jake take over. Does it? I mean, are you allowed to peacock now? Because you can now tell people, hey, two-time All-American Ty Waters, put some respect on my name. You can even go you have like trophies down in Bell, so you can even go to like the bank. Go, hey, I want to take out a loan. Two-time All-American Ty Waters. But, you got to recognize me here. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to peacock.
No, I don't think so.
But you're only one of nine to do it, right? I mean, that's that's pretty impressive.
I'm definitely happy with it, but
There you
I feel
go.
like at the end of the day, that's not probably my main goal in life. Wrestling ends, and I love wrestling more than a lot of things, and I'm gonna work as hard as I possibly can to be a national champion. But at the end of the day, that's definitely not my lifelong goals.
Okay, so no, like not looking to get into like the Olympics or anything like that. But I was gonna ask what your main goal was with it.
After college, I definitely want to fight MMA.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, I'm not the most knowledgeable about MMA, but I know wrestling is usually the best, the best skill you can have to kind of go into, at least to start with it. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited to do that.
So for the next round, like as you said, you want to be national champion. So when I talk with guys like Aaron Seidel, Cam Steed, Caleb Campos says, all right, now we're going to a freestyle tournaments. Now we're doing, camps. Now we're going to RAF. So for you, like, what's the next step now that, college is this season is sort of ending soon? And you're like, all right, how do you improve on your wrestling going forward?
My dad used to always tell me that if I always do what I always did, I'll always get what I always got.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got six, so I got to do a good bit more this off season and a lot more in season.
Yeah, I mean, you get out what you put into it. My father's advice was always you don't regret what you do, you regret what you don't do. So yeah, you'd regret it if you didn't put in the effort, 100%.
For sure.
Take me to the low point this season, because there's the highs are great, but as you know, the lows are like that's when you mentally find yourself like, okay, am I really that tough? Am I not? For you, what was the lowest point of the season, and how did you get over it? How did you get over it?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think there are any low points in the season. I feel like there's always times where you're going to be like maybe having a bad practice and getting beaten up, or maybe losing a match you didn't think you were going to lose, or something along the lines of that. But I don't know. I feel like losses and low points are so good for you. It's almost like I want them at some point because I know they're just going to help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way you learn. I mean, that's what you kind of hear from a lot of athletes later on in their like after they've retired or whatever. The losses are what stick to them because that's what you learned from, and that's how you kind of get it's how you get better. You mean you don't get better in your comfort zone. That's for sure.
Most definitely.
What made you choose West Virginia? You were a highly touted recruit out of Pennsylvania. Usually that means UPenn, Pitt, Penn State, of course, is a dream. You chose West Virginia. Why them? What was it about the Mountaineers that you went, sign me up?
My friend Peyton Hall, he was a three-time All-American, Big 12 champ for West Virginia, and he went to my club when I was younger. And I've known him for a very long time. He's
Okay.
really good dude. I'm one of the dudes I really look up to, and he's helped me a lot throughout my whole wrestling career. And we have real similar styles. And something I was kind of worried about was if a coach was kind of gonna make me wrestle a certain way or not let me do certain things or make me stay out of certain positions. And it scared me a little bit with my style. And I saw that the coaching staff of W was able to make Peyton into the wrestler he is. So I felt real confident that they were going to be able to do the same with me. And I just all around love the staff so much. It's a little bit of everything I need. So I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm a in my regular job, I'm a recruiter by trade, hiring people for companies and stuff. And that's the best way to make things work is to find someone who they're going to work under and who they're going to work with, making sure that relationship's more important than coming in with having the knowledge or the skill. I mean, they got to have some basic skill sets of it, but you're always going to learn and grow. You know, it's one of those things. Nobody stays stagnant for too long, so that makes a lot of sense. The coaching staff, and my father was a soccer coach here in Arizona, where I'm from, and he won 6 state titles and 18 region titles for the Southwestern region. So I kind of get that. I grew up in an athletic household for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You said that Tim Flynn, your wrestling coach, doesn't change your style, but how do you modify it? Because you're always tweaking stuff. I know Todd Waters always trying to go, okay, well, how do I get better? How do I do this? How do I do that? So when you sit with your coach and you guys go over stuff, like how do they work on it so that your style is still similar, but you're adding whether it's more throws, more different different takedowns, more back control. Like, how do you tweak things so that it's still the same, but you have new things that you can throw in there?
I mean, usually it's super small, very basic stuff. I mean, usually a lot of the times when I'm getting beat, it's going to be off one position or kind of one exchange or one flurry. So, I mean, it's usually something kind of stupid that I'm doing, or usually just not being in a low enough stance or not controlling the hand fight or backing up too much. So, I mean, it's usually him just wanting me to stay in good position. And if it's kind of changing or tweaking anything, it's usually a new setup that he wants me to learn or a new number two attack, and a lot of times he wants me to learn different rides on top just because he wants me to ride guys out more, get more riding time, get more turns, pins, team points. So just kind of all along the lines of that. It's never usually anything crazy.
You've
Gotcha. No,
mentioned faith on several occasions. I know Jake wants to probably talk about that first, but
you're
here's
good.
the question: like, why? What gives you faith in just religion? Because most people, for a long time, it's been don't talk about. You're open about what made you, I guess, such a religious person in the first place.
I think I've just seen what I'm like, and I've seen what I'm like without being close with Jesus, and when I am close with Jesus. And I'm not saying I was like a monster or nothing crazy like that, but I definitely feel a peace and joy that only Jesus offers. And I would love for everyone else to experience it because I think it feels amazing. And I think I just used to care so much about wrestling, and I still care very much about wrestling, and I'll work as hard as I possibly can, prepare as best I can, and give 100% effort. But I would lose a match and be so corny and so like sad for days when I mean it's just a wrestling match. And if I lose, I'm gonna be upset for about 20, 30 minutes. But I have a huge family, amazing family, big family. I have a girlfriend, three cats, and
Nice.
sun will come up the next day. So, I mean, wrestling's going to end one day, and Jesus won't.
And it sounds like that's a better way of like a much better way of processing it. And that kind of helps you learn too. And if you're focused so much on the anger and how sad it made you or whatever, you're not going to think about what positives you can take from it. And that's a big thing that, I think is probably best for anyone's career of taking the positives out of the negative. Like even if it's a net negative overall, as long as you gain something out of it, it's not a complete negative. And that's a great way to have a mindset for it. There's three cats in my house as well. My wife, my wife and I, we're cat people. We live in a smaller condo, so that's awesome to hear.
Oh, I love. We're in a small townhouse, and I love. They all just fight all day.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of how ours work too. 100%.
When did this happen? Like, when did the conversion? Because you said before, like, in the past, that you had, when you had those days where it's like a loss would just send you in a tailspin. So for you, like, was it that you made that change to become very more religious, very more in tune with your faith?
Um, I would say I was introduced to it. My Grammy when I was younger, she was very religious, and the way she acted and the way she spoke to people, it just reflected a very faith-based way, and I really looked up to it. And she was one of the kindest women I've ever met in my life, so I love her for sure. And she would teach me a lot about the Bible and everything, and I think that just helped a lot. But that was where I got introduced. And then, I mean, going up through middle school, high school, and just getting into college, I still didn't really know what it meant to have a close relationship with Jesus and everything. But as I started to read a little bit more and kind of do a little bit more research on my own, I was kind of able to draw closer to Jesus as he drew closer to me. And I think he's just able to transform you. And I think that's what it's all about.
You can see it in your face 100%. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Is it something too where that's something like you can help with like your teammates as well that they're have that kind of same faith based, or is it something that you can kind of maybe help some teammates that don't have it of trying to give them like a way to lift them up with it, or is it something that you can kind of help with your teammates on?
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I mean, a lot of my teammates mostly help me. I'm asking a lot of questions and they're helping me out a lot. And I think it's good to have community and everyone talk and kind of just discuss different things. So, I mean, it's always good to have a lot of different people in the discussion. So, asking questions, learning things, maybe trying to teach things every now and then or encourage people to do things. I think that's always good.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, that's one of those things too. You can it can really kind of help people with it as long as you put it the right way with it, kind of like you said of how you figured out the happiness and the peace that it gives you with it as opposed to trying to make it like your all and your everything. It's a big part of your life, but it's something that you can really incorporate in it. That's awesome to hear. That really is.
Yeah.
Talk about the elephant in the room, transfer portal. Everybody now, because you probably have gotten calls. I mean, when we had with Caleb Campos and we had even Aiden Valencia, like, yeah, people called us, we're like, oh, it's them here. Have you gotten calls? And why are you staying in West Virginia when I'm guessing you probably got calls already from like Penn State, Iowa, maybe Cornell. They just lost Shapiro. All of a sudden, they probably go, hey, you have some cash you want to throw around your way. If you come here, you can replace, Mr. Shapiro here. So why stay at West Virginia? And how many people actually have tried to get you to leave via the transfer portal?
Um, as of right now, I don't think anyone has tried to kind of contact me at all, and I definitely don't think there's. I don't think I definitely won't be leaving West Virginia. I just love the whole coaching staff. I love the culture. I love my teammates, and I love everything. And I feel like there's nothing more I would like than to win a national championship for West Virginia under Coach Flynn, Mitchell Port, and Cliff Moore.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you said it's the whole staff, and you seem to have got yourself a nice life you've got built there. You've got your girlfriend, you've got your cats, you've got your family close by. How often do you get to go back home and see the family?
Real often. I'm only like hour, 50 minutes away, so it's
That's what I thought.
real calm.
Yeah, that's what I thought from where the West Allegheny was to Virginia, because I know that's kind of why there's a lot of those rivalries in that area where they're not
Yeah.
interstate, but they're close enough. Yeah, most of my family's from like New Jersey, Philadelphia, and that kind of area. So like
Oh
the
yeah.
tri-state area, similar kind of thing where you're from one school or you're from one area, but you're close to another. I had a couple of my cousins actually went to Penn State.
Oh yeah.
Last couple of questions, I'll let you go. I know you're busy. So I'm actually looking forward to next season because, as you said, your sophomore season got derailed by injury, and this season you came back. You're working off, the rust, and then you get hurt again, and you're like, God damn, I just want to be healthy. Like, how much are you looking forward to be your junior season where it's like, I'm healthy, everything's healed up, I'll no more surgeries, and I can just now focus on, as you said, your goal of becoming national champion, 3-time All American.
I'm super excited. I mean, even now with me kind of just sitting out, recovering a little bit from surgery right now, I can't wait to get on the mat. And I've been watching practice, and I even love watching practice. Like from last year when I had to just watch everything from my couch and kind of not really get to do anything and watch everyone get to do everything. Even me getting to come into practice and watch everyone, I'm so grateful for. So I mean, I can't wait till I'm back at practice and asking my coaches questions, learning from them. So I mean, that'll definitely be really fun to do.
Almost sounds like coaching could be something in your future with that kind of mindset, and if that excites you with it, is that something you've thought about?
I always because Peyton Hall, he wants to coach right now, and I was always telling him that I hope a bunch of schools hit me up when I'm done to coach. I would love to do that.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, the way you said it right there, that stood out to me right away of something where, because a lot of guys, let's be real, don't enjoy practice or if they're, or don't, and definitely don't enjoy watching it from the sidelines if they're injured. So if that's something that's there, that could be a great pathway forward for you after your MMA career, of course.
Most definitely.
The last question before I let you go: why do you love wrestling? This sport you don't play. I mean, as Jake has told me on several occasions, nobody plays wrestling. You just wrestle. Your body is dragged through a mat. You get mat burns probably in a lot of different places: legs, arms, feet, maybe even your face. There's cauliflower ear if you don't have your correct headgear. Your body is put through a ringer. You are cutting weight that would make even Richard Simmons go, "Oh my God, you guys are crazy." You are in pain for most of probably the season because of constant running, suicides, up downs. You're doing bending, torquing in positions that even a yoga instructor would go, ugh. And you love it. And again, there's no big money. It's not like you're in football for the Mountaineers team and you're getting at least NIL money of close to 6 figures. You have had to probably give up parties, give up, fat food, beer, hanging out. Why do you love it? What is it about sport that you look and go, God damn, it's like a mistress. I can't get rid of it. I still love it. This is in my goddamn DNA.
I'm not sure. I think I just really like combat sports. And I think since it's really hard, that also likes it. And when I think when you get into wrestling at a young age, like when you don't have kind of consciousness yet, and then you keep wrestling all the way up through, I think you almost like hate it most of the time. And I don't know when the point of you starting to love it ever comes, because sometimes you just keep hating it. And there's still times where I hate it, but I think in wrestling you suffer a lot, and it's just super hard. And I think suffering is just such a good blessing for you as a person and an athlete. So I think all around it's just so good for you in growth and maturity.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get what you put it. Sacrifice is something that you can really definitely learn from, and you can see it in your face of where it kind of hits you with it of how important it is because you've seen the success that it creates too. Like you get what you get out what you put in. So you've seen the success, and obviously you're pushing for a national championship next year, and that's a great goal to have. So I can see you just sacrificing more to make sure that you get at least in the mix for it. That's awesome.
Of course.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're proud to have on the show. I give you two-time All-American now, soon to be, dare I say, national champion next year. I'll give you Ty Waters. So, Ty, before we let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is the Instagram, the X? You probably have a YouTube channel teaching us how to wrestle. There's probably even, like a Rumble channel. Where can fans hit you up at? Hit up West Virginia Wrestling.
On Instagram at _Ty Waters.
Simple and straight to the point. Ty Waters, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always on a pleasure having you on the show. We come back. We got a lot more going on here. Only on, it's Last Call. Last Call of the Alcohol. Only on the Last Call Podcast.com.